pleasant afternoon. Welcome to the world news on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Here are the top stories. President Tinubu pleads for more time over labor strikes notice. Senate condemns Southeast seat at home. Ogun begins conversion of diesel, petrol vehicles to gas. Vice President Kazim Shettima woos foreign investors, says Nigeria ready for business. On the foreign scene, Joe Biden's sons plead not guilty on tax charges as deal derails. And in sport, Nigerian Football League season to kick off August 26. Details of this and more coming up shortly. Welcome back. Now the news in details. I am OLUWAFISAYOMI, AJIBOLA. President Bola Tinubu is asking the organized labor for more time to consider their grievances before embarking on any nationwide strike. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, disclosed this to State House correspondent after a meeting with the President on Wednesday. Abbas led the House leadership to brief the President on the outcome of the engagement with the National Associations of Resident Doctors, which has declared a nationwide strike action. The Speaker said President Tinubu appealed that being new in office, he needs time to evaluate the issues raised by the workers, over which he had yet to be briefed. The federal government has asked the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) to shelve its planned nationwide strike. In a statement on Wednesday, the government noted that it had earlier secured an order from the National Industrial Court which restrained Labour from embarking on any strike action over issues bordering on removal of fuel subsidy. The statement signed by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Justice, Mrs. B.E. Jedagba, said such strike action would amount to resort to self-help since the matter is already pending in court. It therefore urged the NLC to withdraw the 7-day notice it issued on its plans to commence a nationwide industrial action from August 2 if demands of labour's unions were not met. The Nigerian Senate on Wednesday condemned the Monday sit-at-home in the southeastern part of the country by a faction of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. The Senate at plenary also asked the federal government to collaborate with Finnish government and extradite a pro-Biafran agitator, Simon Ekpa, for prosecution. The upper chamber also rejected a recommendation from IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu's release, saying it would amount to job subsidies as the matter of his release was still in court. The Department of State Service (DSS) says it will carry out an investigation into the face-off between its official and those of the Nigerian Correctional Service at the Federal High Court in Ikoyi on Tuesday. Personnel of the two government agencies had engaged in a scuffle over the custody of suspended CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele after he was granted bail by Justice Nicholas Oweibo. In a statement on Wednesday, DSS spokesperson Peter Afunaya described the incident as unfortunate, adding that it does not reflect the professional disposition of the service. Afunaya said the personnel of both agencies exhibited undue overzealousness, noting that the DSS has respect for the judiciary and will not go out of its way to undermine it. Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dakwa Abiodun, on Wednesday inspected the first successfully converted diesel petrol bus to a compressed natural gas in the neighborhood. Speaking with reporters shortly after the inspection of the bus at the arcade ground, Governor's office Okemoson, Governor Abiodun said his administration is looking at converting close to 2,000 buses. The move, according to the governor, is part of effort at addressing the impact of the petrol subsidy removal on residents of the state. He also disclosed that gas filling stations will be sited across the state to enable the sustainability of the project. Still in Ogun State, in its effort to tackle the insecurity challenges in Ogun State, Governor Dakwa on Wednesday said the state government will soon launch its surveillance drones. The drones, which is expected to be launched by the Acting Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, will help reduce the numbers of blind spots in the state. Governor Abiodun stated this when he received the Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 2 comprising Ogun and Lagos State, Mr. Ari Muhammad Ali, who paid him a courtesy call in his office at Okemos from Abeokuta. The governor noted that kidnapping, cultism, and land grabbing are serious security challenges facing the government that must be tackled headlong. While soliciting for the cooperation of the AIG in breaking the backbone of land grabbing in the state, the governor assured the police force of government continued support to enable them to discharge their duties. Speaking with reporters after the meeting, AIG Muhammad Ali said the identified issue of land grabbing, kidnapping, and cultism as peculiar to the state and assured that force would take them frontal. You are listening to the world news on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Still to come, business, foreign and sport. Do stay with us. Welcome back to the rest of the news. In business, Vice President Kazim Shettima on Wednesday in Rome urged foreign investors to take advantage of the opportunities in Nigeria, declaring that the country is now ready for business. The Vice President noted that the combinations of Nigeria's young, energetic population and the agenda of the new administration place the country far ahead of others in the region. According to a statement signed by the State House Director of Information Office of the Vice President, OluwafisayomI, Shettima said this at a side event of the ongoing UN Food System Summit. On the foreign scene, soldiers in the West African country of Niger have announced a coup on national television. They said they had dissolved the constitution, suspended all institutions, and closed the nation's border. Niger President Mohamed Bazoum has been held by troops from Presidential Guard since early on Wednesday. He was promised Washington unwavering support in call from U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres also said he had spoken to the Nigerian president and offered the UN's full support. Still on the foreign scene, the UN's president, Joe Biden's son, Hunter, pleaded not guilty to minor tax offenses on Wednesday as a deal with federal prosecutors crumbled in Delaware court. The surprise move came after Judge Marilyn placed on hold the original deal under which Hunter Biden had agreed to enter a guilty plea and admit to illegal gun possession. The 53-year-old, whose legal troubles have cast a shadow over his father's reflection campaign, had reached an agreement with prosecutors that he would be sentenced to probation on 2 tax avoidance counts. The deal also specified that the firearms charge would eventually be raised if he adhered to a counseling and rehabilitation program. But the deal fell apart after Judge Noreka, while the gun charge was included in a tax case, and whether the plea agreement protected Biden from charges that might arise from a wider ongoing investigation on his business dealings. Lastly, sports. The Nigerian Professional Football League (NPFL) 2023-2024 season will kick off on August 26. The chairman of the newly constituted board of the NPFL, Gbenga Elegbeleye, disclosed this on Wednesday. Speaking after the inauguration of the newly constituted board by the NFF president Ibrahim Gusau in Abuja, Elegbeleye said the winner of the new league season will take home 150 million naira. On officiating, the NPFL chairman expressed hope that referees who did very well last season will do better this season. Still on sport, Nigerian Football Federation NFF President Ibrahim Gusau has charged the Super Falcons of Nigeria to defeat Australia and make Africa proud. The Super Falcons will face 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup co-host in the second Group B match this Thursday. Speaking ahead of the game, Gusau hailed the team's performance in the goalless draw with Canada, which leaves them as the only undefeated African side at this year's World Cup. A win against Australia will boost Nigerian chances of reaching the knockout stage ahead of the final group game with the Bontan Republic of Ireland, who lost 2-1 to Canada on Wednesday. That was the world news on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. But before I go, a quick recap of the major headlines. President Tinubu pleads for more time over labor strike action. Senate condemns Southeast seat at home. We did also tell you that the Ogun State government has begun the conversion of diesel petrol vehicles to gas. Vice President Kazim Shettima woos foreign investors, says Nigeria ready for business. On the foreign scene, Joe Biden's son pleads not guilty on tax charges on deals derailed. And in sport, Nigerian Football League season to kick off August 26. For more information, do join us on www.Al-IyamoyeTvradio.com or join our social media handle with the unique name Al-IyamoyeTV. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I am OLUWAFISAYOMI, AJIBOLA. Good afternoon.